Howdy y'all, thank you for joining me. You're going to see me doing a little bit of setup, but I'll just kind of skip past that as we do Imperial Settlers. And this will be with Rise of the Empire. I didn't grab the box lid over there, and I'm using the other box lid here. I do have a lot of the promo stuff. I'm not going to play with any of this just because I'm really not sure how this went with solo play and just don't feel like looking into it. Plus, this is more of me to try out the Rise of the Empire stuff solo without adding in too much stuff. But I'm also not going to take a lot of stuff out of my decks and stuff. I'm going to go with what I want to play is the ones I have the most fun playing. And if that, so like I said, if that Empire crumbles, then I'll switch to the new one. And probably try out the Romans then. I'll try to remember things that I normally do that just save on space and whatnot. So the setup for Rise of the Empire for the first time when you're starting it really isn't any different. The only difference for the first game is normally you would separate out these quest cards into, they have 3 different colors and abilities or whatever. You would separate them out into each one and make sure you have one of each. This is where the solo game diverts a little bit, and it actually has you shuffle them all together and just deal out 4 randomly. Alright, so I'm going to take this one, I'm going to take this one, and that one. Alright, so we put these to the side. Alright, so the four things the Egyptians are going to have to try to pull off at least 2 of. And of course, I'm going to try to pull off all I can. To be argumentative like Socrates, have a production feature and action of the same color in your empire. That might be pretty easy to pull off. That would have been easier if I would have taken the Romans. So the way these work is, this is the quest, of course, that you have to try to do. It normally in multiplayer games, if you're the first to achieve it, is when you get this. You will, I shouldn't say it's just normally. So if you're the first to achieve it, you get to do this extra ability. You get to add these. So in this case, 3 ticks to this, which would give me a starting, which this heart's really good. Like I said, we'll talk about more about what that is later. But in the case with the solo game, that just means if I can pull this off, I get to do this little ability. I get to draw 3 faction cards, keep one, and reshuffle the others. Seems pretty good. This one should be easy to pull off. Like I said, it'd been easier if I would have been playing the Romans, because the Romans have so many multicolor buildings. Enlightened like Prince. Oh, I'm probably going to butcher a lot of names. I'm real bad with names. Enlightened like Prince Shotoku. I'm going to go with that. Have at least 4 swords in my supply, or raid swords, whatever you want to call them. First achieve, draw 3 commons, raise 1 for free, and discard the others. And this one gives me the diplomacy, is I know the name of that one, which is here. And that would make it, so like in that case, I know I said I'd talk about it later, but welcome to my brain. So like if I were to pull this off, I get to put 3 ticks on this, the diplomacy track, 1, 2, 3. And since this would be ticked off, the green is what you start with in your next game. And the next, what this little particular one is, I get to start with 1 extra card in hand. So that one's pretty cool. Alright, Ablaze like Joan of Arc. Have 3 black cards in hand. Oh cool, we did happen to get 1 of each one. Imperial like Augustus. Have at least 5 food in your supply. We're going to do that one. Which is against the Romans. Oh, if I remember right, these guys are kind of a pain in the butt. Well, I think they're all kind of a pain in the butt in some way. Alright. So since I'm against the Romans, and we'll see how the solo goes. And I played the solo a lot, but it has been a little while since I played it, so I might do a little bit of refresher at first. But here we go. During the lookout phase, I draw 5 commons instead of 4, which is something you'll see in the solo. So basically they're going to get extra buildings, which makes it to where their score is a lot harder for me to defeat. This one I'll shuffle as I talk about it. So mine, it's just the way I am. I like being able to play with everything, and I understand you're supposed to trim these decks down to 30 of them, or 30 cards, and be selective. My only issue with that is, like, if it was just me playing, yeah, I could probably do it. But since I have people who play this game with me usually, I don't really want to sit there and go, okay, now you have to build a deck first, especially if it's a new player. And then, I mean, I could build the deck, but then I'm building the deck towards, yes, each deck and faction has their own play style, and you should play them that way. But I feel like you also, as a player, have your own play style, which will also direct you towards which deck you probably enjoy playing. I like the idea of being able to just pull anything out, and I mean, hey, sometimes your culture just is moving slow. That's just the way it is in real life. All right. I'm going to say that's shuffled up enough. And there's a point where the AI computer player is going to do something randomly. I have a 3-sided dice here. This dice is from the Invader Zim Nickelodeon game. I forgot. I think it's called the Doomsday Dice Game, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, this will be how I'll determine randomly what card they take. All right. Yeah, let's get started. Really, the game don't take overly that long. One big change also that's going to happen is normally this game is 5 rounds long, where you take turns within the rounds. When you're doing the Rise of the Empire, you only do 4 rounds. So, and what I found with the one time we played it, it really does make a huge difference, because that 5th round usually is so key on how your combos are going to go off and everything you're building up to. And instead, you got to target to that 4th round. So sometimes, especially someone like me who played this game a lot, I was building up a lot of production that I still won the game, barely. But yeah, I was building up a lot of production that kind of just didn't need, because I was going into the 4th round. All right, so we start out, we draw 2 of our faction cards, and we get 2 common cards. All right, so the common cards I grabbed are these are the randoms that were just dealt to me. So these could be pretty good. And then my faction cards. Okay, nice. Got me something that's going to get me some gold for free. That seems good. All right. One thing we need to do immediately, and I will try to show this as we go, as we flip over to top. This is the top card, from the solo deck, or from the AI. It shows what the AI is going to basically, during their little end of the turn, they get to do some stuff where they're going to basically raise some of my buildings. And it's going to have to do with these symbols and things that it says up here. This will be off camera, and I'll try to bring over what's going there. But the first one that gets flipped over is wood. I'm going to put that over here. Okay. All right. We go into the first lookout phase. So it's in solo play, it's just like the normal one. In one way is that I do get one of my faction cards, which the one I drew is this one, the Goldsmith. And then normally it would be 2, 3, 4 cards from the common deck. But with the Romans, it says during the lookout phase it's going to be 5, because they're going to, and it'll show at the end of the game, because they're going to get, as they take these, they get these buildings for free. They go out off on the side of the board where I can try to raise them, if I remember correctly, and I can get the raise stuff. If not, it goes to them and they just get them for victory points, which will really suck because of the way I play with the house rules, because a pyramid is out here. Of course, I can take the pyramid. I did not draw a pyramid, if I remember right. But I mean, a pyramid could be pretty good. This, unfortunately, you know what? Because I want to see how Rise of the Empire works, I am going to get rid of that for now and just draw another one and pretend like it's not in the deck. And if I draw any of the others of those ones, I'll just go ahead and remove them for now. All right. because I just don't want to. I want to be able to see if it works and not that I was able to take advantage of something stupid that I did because of a house rule. All right, so first things first, I get to pick one of these to put into my hand. Ooh, each time I get conquest, to getting a person. Man, last time I was playing that, the person I was playing against was conquesting the crud out of me. Spend one. I guess I could, as I'm reading these, spend one food to choose one enemy deal. Shuffle that deal back into their deck. That's not so good for me during the solo. I don't think they have deals. So, alright. That was one thing that was kind of cool. If you are interested in that little house rule where you just put these back if you did get the expansion or whatever, is because it did put a way to be able to make deals also, you know, in the common deck. Especially since there are a lot of cards that deal with the deals. Alright, spend one dude and one wood to gain some victory points. And then the baker, really just a building bonus of one victory point for each red in my empire. Additionally, just draw one card. None of these are production, really. I mean, I guess this could give me a... it's a free foundation. I will take this, hoping to raise it. So I'm taking the joiner. I'm hoping to raise it to get that wood I'm going to need to build with. All right. Oh, I wasn't planning on the Romans. A D3 is not going to help me. So I'm just going to random, and then I'll see if I can find a dice. So he's taking this one. So this goes off to the side of the board for now. And then the other one I'm going to choose. Of course, if I take this, I can raise it the next turn for 2 people. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so he gets these other buildings. All right. We do my production. I get, and right now the only production I have is on the top of my card because I have no cards out. And this is the promo one that you can get through. It's just got a different picture, really fancier looking picture. All right. So, yep. According to this, I get 3. We always call them dudes. I'm sure there's people. So 3 dudes. We get 1 sword, 1 shield. And I will be playing with my bits from Stonemaier Games and some that I've 3D printed up. This is a nice one from Stonemaier Games where it's a gold bar. It's really just nice. All right. We are ready to go. And the way this works, I just do my actions until I'm done and get through the first round. So let's do this. All right. The first turn always seems like it takes about as long because it's all about trying to set up and plan. But anyways, we'll start off right off the bat. First card I'm playing, it's actually free. So this tells you how much it costs to build something. In this case, it's free. An open production will not be usable this game, really. But it's a kind of a cool thing where if you're playing with multiple people, they can place on here to get the production that you got. So, like, you get this production each turn, but they will be able to place a person on here to get a gold in this case. And then that gives you another person to work with. That's just the way open productions work. In this case, I'm building this for free. So I just put it over here on my side for my faction. And because it's a production building, after you build it, you get your production immediately, which in this case is a gold. So I get a gold. Cool. All right. Let's look at what else. Boom, 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 boom. I have plans, so let's just go ahead and move that right on into motion. Let's build a new forest. So I could raise and get the wood I need, but I have this gold. Now I can store the gold though. I'm thinking use the gold as food. 1 to gain 3. So if you've never played this game before, one of the considerations I'm thinking about right now is when you have your deck, and if you had to build the deck ahead of time, you would already know what you put in there and know what's there. But basically, you look right here, and it shows you how many cards of that card are in your deck. So in this case, there's 3 versions of this card, and there's 2 copies of this card inside the deck. I said versions, I meant copies. So as much as I really want this and this, early game, they could get me gold, which would get me a lot of stuff to build later. So I may consider on this one, but this one, I think for now, I am going to make a deal with it. So the way make a deal works, sorry, I should have went to, basically you're going to go through actions, and the actions you could do is to build a card, make a deal, do actions, which in this case I have an action down here where I can spend 2 people to gain 1 wood or 1 stone or 1 food or draw 1 card. And when you could draw a card, you could draw from the common deck or your faction deck. In this case, I am going to make a deal here, and the way you make a deal is you just have to spend a food, and then this becomes basically a deal, and it's part of your production now. Gold, and this is where I say they fill toolbox, gold can be used as a resource, and the only resources in the game are food, stone, and wood. I'm going to use this as a food to make a deal with this card, so I would just take it and slide it underneath here, and just like with production, I get to get that immediately, so I get a gold back. So seems like an even trade. And then I'll consider, I was thinking I want to trade this in and get a deal also and just do the same thing I did there. That way next few turns I just get more gold to do stuff with. But this could really net me a bunch of extra victory points. Yeah, we'll think about it a little bit longer. But as we do that, I'm going to go ahead and build this new forest. So I need 1 wood. I get to use this gold as a wood. I get to put this over here as a new action. So now what this card does is it gives me this action that I can do once per round, which is basically I can take a dude, put him down on there, and I get to gain a wood. And I can do this twice. I could do it twice on the same action because it can be activated twice, or I could do them in future actions. Like if I just only want 1 right then, and then I realize I need another one later. So that just gives me access to wood. I think I am going to build this gold mine, which like I said is really good. And actually, probably should have built this first, but well, actually I can't build the gold mine right now. I need a wood and I need a stone, but I only have 1 gold. So I'm going to send this dude down here to get me a wood. And this is the Stonemaier Games wood, as opposed to, and I mean, these are cool too because they're wooden. These come with the game and they're nice. The gold was the main thing I knew I had to replace. The gold is just cardboard, and I always try to replace all the cardboard in my games. So, all right. Well, I have this now if I want it. Oh, yeah. Never mind. I was thinking, man, but then I won't be able to do that deal if I want to. But yes, I still can because I can use a dude to gain a gold. So I am going to, as it says, I need a stone and a wood. So I use this stone and this gold as for the wood. And that lets me build the gold mine, which now I can, as an action, send a dude there to the gold mine to gain a gold. And it may be activated twice. Pretty cool. I think I'm going to use my sword. And really, I don't understand the shields on the solo play because they really don't do anything. Sure, I'll put it on there. It just protects normally against swords, but when they raise, they just get to raise, so it doesn't really matter. I'm actually going to use my sword to raise. So, like I said, 1 sword, since I used only 1 sword, it means I can raise something from my hand, and you get whatever it shows there. I am raising this to get 2 people to do stuff with. So this goes to the discard pile, and I get 2 people because I raised that. Let's just go ahead and build this joiner. So I send a dude here. Like I said, it cannot be activated twice. So I send a dude there to get another wood. And normally you'd only do one action and the other people would have to go. But in the solo play, you just keep going because they don't do anything. I send a dude there, get a gold. You know what? So the base action that everyone starts with, like I said, is that you can send 2 people to get wood, stone, food, or a card. I'm going to send the 2 people down here and I'm going to draw a card. And I get to choose which card. So we're going to draw from my faction deck. And what I drew is a fortress. Don't really help me right now. So, yep, we're going to use our last 2 resources. This takes 2 wood. So we're going to use the wood and the gold to build the joiner. All right, I am out of resources. There's nothing else I can really do. All of my actions require stuff. I can't build anything from my hand. So that is the end of the round. So, all right, so I'm going to do the cleanup phase. Just get rid of everything. If I had gold to store, I would store it now. Now the virtual player attacks. I'm just going to go through his attack thing step by step here to make sure I remember it correctly and make sure I do everything correctly. Alright, so for right now, the first thing we do is we take the 3 cards, which normally it's 2, but like I said, the Romans get 3. These go to the side, and he basically has these as victory points for the end of the game. So he just now scored him some victory points. Okay. So I take this card, and I put it over this card, like such. Like I look for this in my buildings can be raised. So if I have the technology gear in the buildings raises, then I see, and it's kind of, odds are it's not going to happen this first turn because, well, first off, I have no technology things in my field. So that means nothing happens on this one, and the attack does nothing. All right, so we go through the next one. They attack twice. So the next card that gets revealed is a card. It goes on top of the stack. And now we check, do I have a card in this area? I do not. So there is no attack once again. Now let's say one of these would have been a card. Let's say this one would have been a card and a wood instead of 2 wood. I know it's hard to see. I guess I can pick it up. Say it was a card and a wood instead of 2 wood. Then what would have happened is we would check, okay, card and tech. There was no card and tech, but there is a card and a wood. So in that case, he would have raised this building. I would lose it. And then those cards move backwards. So that makes it to where... Okay, so that's his attack. He raised nothing. My empire is safe from him. So we go to the lookout phase again. So I get 1 faction card, which the one I drew is Captured Muses. It's an action that I can spend 1 dude to draw 2 faction cards, discard 1 to gain 2 victory points, reshuffle. So a way to get victory points, which I have that card in my hand, and it gets me gold for building it. I think this is something we will try to do. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I said, normally be 4. And now I get to look at these and decide on one I want. Well, there's the foundation I can get. And like I said, I'm going to remove this pyramids and draw another one. All right. So we got the Merchants Guild, where I can get production of gold for each gold in my empire. Ooh. Especially since I'm spending, I have 3. Now I'm maxed out at 3, but this could be worth it. But it's really rough to build. An action to spend a dude and a wood for 2 victory points. Production of stone for each white in my empire. I don't really have whites in my empire, so don't need that. So I don't have white buildings. Production of 1 sword. That might help me be able to pull off one of these things. What color was that card? Blue. I was about to say, I thought it was blue. I got to find a way to get 3 blacks in hand, black cards in hand, or at one point have 4 swords. I could possibly have to take this one. Yeah, I think I have to take that one. That is just too good. Too good. So I'm taking the one that, if I can build it, will give me 2 wood and a stone. That's pretty good. And I'm going to lay these out 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like this. Let's go to that handy dandy randomizer again. Alright. And number 4. So he takes that one. And I think as much yeah, I'm going to take this and just hope maybe I can find other ways to make swords. So I'm taking the one that gives me production of swords. Most likely will not be using it. My civilization might go into decline because I really don't know. I don't foresee any way to get swords. I don't remember really being many black cards in the Egyptian deck. And 5 food in the supply since I can't carry food over. Yeah, it's going to be weird. Alright, so he gets both of these. So we did that, so we get our production now of gold. 3 deuters. A sword. I'm going to not grab the shield. They don't really have an effect in the solo play that I know of. And... oh, I was like, I forgot that I had that one there. I was like, oh, and then the extra gold from my treasury production. Nice. I'm going to keep the gold here since this is my store. All right, here we go. Round 2. Use the 3 gold to make that, which is going to give me this production, which is 1 gold for each gold card in my empire, max of 3. So I put that up here in my productions for the Merchants Guild. I have 1, 2, 3 gold, so I get 3 gold back. So free building seems good. Hopefully he don't raise that one. That would make me very sad. I think we go ahead and build this one, the armorer, and hope that we can find other ways to get swords. But right now it's a food and a stone. Once again, using my gold as a food and a stone to get the armorer, which gives me another sword because I get your production immediately. But I have these 2 swords and I don't have anything that I can raise in my hand, but he's got some stuff over there. So I'm going to use 2 swords. I'm going to bring all 3 cards over here and show you the selection I'm making. But so I can use the 2 swords to attack and raise one of his things. This, I would get a stone and a technology. This, I would get nothing. But this is the one I'm targeting because it lets me get a person and a food. Plus also, this means he does not get this card later. So I do that. And that gives me a deuter. And some food. I'm going to get me a nice juicy steak here. There we go as a food. And then I'm going to use that food to make a deal. So turn that food into a deal. So I'm getting rid of this one. I'd like it to make the victory points, but right now I'm just looking at, I may not win, but my faction won't go into decline. I need to get card draw. I need to get other cards. So yeah, we're going to go with the common deck. So I get to draw a card. I'm taking one from the common deck. Boo. Boo, boo, boo. All right, so what I drew is the mechanical helper. So this requires a wood or a stone and a foundation. I'll take one from the discard pile. So normally, if you look at the back of these cards, if I didn't have them sleeved, it's got that same symbol there. And it's because if somebody raises one of your buildings, if someone raises you, you get, like say this building was raised, I get to flip it over. It becomes a foundation that I can use for a future, and I get some wood. In this case, it was at the end of the turn, so I would have lost the wood anyways. But it does say in the solo play that when they raise, you do not get a location or resources. So yeah, I need a stone, and then I need a foundation, which means I either have to have one of those foundations, or I have to sacrifice any building in my empire and get rid of it. So here's my stone. And I'm going to get rid of that joiner I built as a foundation. And that lets me build the Sphinx. Oh, I guess I can show the Sphinx. It is a feature that each time I gain at least 2 victory points by doing something, I gain an additional 1. According to argumentative like Socrates, I have to have a production, a feature, and an action the same color in my empire. I have a production, I have a feature, and I have an action. So I pulled off one of the 2 goals I need to pull off for the game, plus I get to do this first to achieve. So I draw 3 faction cards and keep 1, reshuffle the others. So 1, 2, 3. So I drew my pyramids card, which I definitely want to eventually build. I mean, it replaces itself. It gets me gold. Yeah, I mean, this is really good. I'm definitely gonna. All right, so this one is the Sand Sailors. I can spin a technology wheel to immediately use one enemy production as if it was an open production. So this definitely is not going to be one of my choices. So that's going to shuffle back in. This is a free building, so it could be a good foundation maybe. It's the desert. An action, discard one card from hand to choose one enemy who must discard one card from his hand. Additionally gain a victory point. It does let me draw 2 cards. And it's rare, so my odds of hitting it again once shuffling that big deck ain't gonna be pretty slim. Whereas I could probably hit a pyramid again. So I'm gonna take this one. This one goes to my hand. I achieved this. So normally what would happen is if you were playing a normal game and I was first to achieve this, I get that thing. I get these 3. So what's gonna happen now is I get 3 of it in that, and I don't remember what it's called, but I get to tick 3 boxes here. And what this is going to do is later in future games, if my thing doesn't go into decline because I can't pull off another thing, I'm going to have provinces, and you have to pay the resources for your provinces. This makes it to where one of your provinces you do not have to pay the resources for. That is really good because your people love you, basically. I have those 3, and then normally what would happen if it was a normal game, this would flip over. I mean, it still flips over. And it's the same thing. It's just the next people who pull it off, so everyone else can still pull it off, but they would only get 1 box to check in there. So it makes it where you kind of want to target towards these so you can get better stuff to help you in the future games. That said, shuffle these back into the deck. So let's shuffle these back into the deck. So we're going to build a desert. It's free. It's an action. I discard a card from my hand to choose one enemy who would discard a card from his hand, which I'm assuming would do nothing for them. But I gain a victory point. And then the main thing is I don't have to use that action. So I built that for free. It goes down here. And the main thing I'm doing that for is to draw 2 cards. And I really like digging through my faction, but like I said, I think my best odds are going to be in this common deck. So let's see what I draw here. Oh man, saw food and I got happy. So let's see, is this something that's gonna help me? It's got a production of 1 food. Additionally gain 1 food for each red set. Oh, this is definitely good for my future. I feel a little bit more better about digging through this deck. Now let's see what this one is. This one is a 2 wood, a man with a knife. I can spin an action, or spin an action to spin a dude and a wood to gain 2 victory points. So kind of like the joiners that I had. Let's see if I could dig out some more options. I'm gonna send 2 dudes down here to have them to draw a card. God, do I go for the? Yeah, I need to go to this common deck. Okay. It's an action to spin the dude and a sword to gain 3 victory points. 3 victory points. I think I'd play it safe and just send both of these guys down here as the same action to turn them both into gold. And you can do that if it says you can activate it multiple times. And then I think we're just going to roll into the next thing. But I'm going to go ahead and use this gold to make a deal with this, which is going to just give me that gold back. Yeah. I didn't do what I normally do. I normally just put them sideways because eventually if you make enough deals, this becomes a big old mess. So I'll just do it sideways and just remember it's part of the production. But anyways, that gave me the gold back. And I just did that because I could store gold and I was going to lose the person if I didn't. So useless cards and the card I'm going to use. All right. We do cleanup. All right. Next he attacks. So let's bring this over here. So this adds 2 there. It is a card. So we check, do we have a card in any of the raisings? We do not. So he does nothing. And then we add the next card, which is a meeple or a person. There's not a meeple or a person. Man, I am not getting attacked. That is very lucky for me. His cards go into his stack for his victory later. I don't remember if it is you need to beat his victory points or it's just you have to make sure you have more faction buildings than he has. And then you just use the score for thing. I don't remember that much, but I just remember you really don't want him to get a bunch of cards. All right. So anyways, we're going to the next phase. So our next turn. So we're halfway done with the game. I draw my one card, which is a stone. To give me production, choose one of your deals and gain the good it provides. Building bonus, choose one of your deals and gain the good it provides. I'm probably going to build this to go for that card draw because I need to start getting through that stuff. So this is definitely going to probably end up getting built. All right. So we draw the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is one of those ones that house rules. So I'm going to get rid of it, like I said, because I don't want it to tank this game until I really decide if that's what I want to keep doing. All right, anyways. All right, so I drew Stone Festival, which is a production of victory points for each gray set in your empire. I don't really have gray, so I really don't care about this. This is a stone to give me stone production and gives me a dude back. So this is a stone to give me stone. This is a possibility. This is definitely a possibility. How do I want to lay this out? I'm just going to put it down like that. All right, so that's well, I'll raise it up a little bit higher so I remember it's a possibility. All right. And then a wood for the brewer action. Spend 1 food to gain a victory point. I need to try to find a way to get food, so I don't want that. Okay. Build for food. Spend 1 resource to choose 1 enemy. They gain 1 resource of the same kind you have spent, but must discard a card. Don't really care because I don't care about making him discard. I don't want to get rid of food, so I don't care if that one. This one might be one I take just for raising. Get that food, and then if I can raise the other one, now I got 3 food. I guess that's another possibility. If I can find a way, and like another card like this last one where it lets me raise for 2, since I get 2 swords. So if I can find another one like this, I can raise that, raise the other one, raise that one, raise the other one. That's 2, 4 food. Oh, what am I thinking? I have to, oh man. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure this out. Anyways, too much talking and not enough playing. Not enough action. Speaking of action, spin a dude in those. So like these would be really good for me right now, but as I'm digging through to try to get stuff, I got to go with what I got to go with. All right, so this is the only one that really stuck out to me that can help me. So, because it can give me stone that I can build with. So I'm taking this one. Oh, pull out the randomizer again to see which card he takes randomly. Here we go. And he's going to take card number 3, which is the other one I was wanting to take. Cool. All right, so he took that one. Yeah, that's part of the... If you're playing the normal game and you were drafting, I would have... We'll take this one. So these other 2 go to him. Okay. We get our production. So I get my gold from the treasury. I'll just go left to right. I get 2 gold from my deals and a card. So we're going to draw the common card, and what I drew is a meeting place. There's a feature with the building bonus of 1 victory point for each pink in my empire. Additionally, I get to draw a card. Not really all that good. We'll go back through what isn't going to be played and is in my hand. All right. I get 3 duders. I get a sword. Like I said, I'm not going to mess with the shield. I normally get the shield. I get a gold. I get 1 gold for each gold in my empire. 1, 2, 3. Max is 3, even though I have 4. So 1. So I can build a lot of stuff. Need draw engines, which actually could come from the common deck too. So, man, I've never played the common deck so much. I mean, I usually do play it a lot, but yeah. Anyways, so that's all my production. We go on. Let's see what we can do. I mean, we got all this gold. Let's do it. Let's hope to dig. Oh, wait. If I make this deal, that gives me a 3rd sword, which means I just got to find a way to get another sword instead of digging for that food. Which Much I want to get that draw, and that could give me draw. I think that's the way I got to go. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. I should have looked at that. Yes, so we're gonna make a deal. Sorry, jumped the gun. I got so happy. I used the food. I used the gold as a food to make a deal, which is gonna add this here. Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and do what I was talking about because it's starting to make a mess now because it's lifted my board up. I'm just gonna put them sideways here. And go sideways. That these are my deals. But it gives me a sword. Get another sword. Cool. Yeah. Just need to find a way to get one more sword. Especially, I might be able to pull that off this turn if I could just find something. All right. So that was the first action. I feel much better about what I just did. All right. I got all this gold. Let's start doing more stuff. Spend this gold for a stone to build this stone market, which is an open production, which does nothing in this game, but it gives me a production of a stone, which I get immediately. Oh, and since I showed y'all resources, yeah. So yeah, normally in the game, you will get the cardboard sword. There is a promo box, I think it was the first game box, where it comes with swords and the shield, actually. I guess I could show the shield since that was something else I did. So normally in the game, you get these cardboard punch outs for the shields. And then the same game box, it's like I think it's the first one because it comes with a play mat, which I actually meant to bring and play on. I just forgot it at the shop. But the first one comes with the swords, the play mat, the villages, which I thought were really cool because it's what it did is it took the villages from the common deck, which were 12 of them, I think, and it gave you a promo of each village. In each country that the game was printed in their language, I believe. So like you got a Chinese one, you have, I know there's a Dutch one. They're really cool. I like them. They're really cool. But anyways, then it comes with these wooden ones. I don't remember if the stickers were on there or I had to apply them. That's been so long ago. All right. But anyways, I was talking about that because, yeah, this is the Stonemaier stone. If you buy their Stonemaier stuff, and the stone is a wooden piece that comes in the game. I don't remember if they all have that tick in it or if I just happen to grab it. Nope, they don't all have it in there. I just noticed this one had a section missing out. But yeah, they're little wooden stones. But yeah. And since I've done the food, you saw I used steaks, or I actually have steaks, carrots, and I 3D printed up some pumpkins, which I think you can get some pumpkins also from Stonemaier. They got little corns and stuff that I have for the food. They have what looks like the actual thing on there, which is like a little apple that's wooden that comes in the game normally. All right. Anyways, that was a side track because it gave me a stone. And then the building bonus was another deuter. All right. So I'm going to use these for card draw to give me options right now. So I'm going to move these two down here to draw a common card, which, yeah, well, I normally don't draw from the common deck. So I get an abandoned cabin, which I'm going to use for my next action immediately. It's a free to build. And for a building bonus, gives me a wood. But it'll give me a foundation, I guess. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and raise that one I was talking about out of my hand. It gives me a dude. I'm raising it. It gives me a dude and a card draw. So I get a dude, and I get to draw a card. We're going to go from common deck again. Oh, nope, that's one of the ones that it was from the Barbarian deck. So a marketplace. Yeah, I'm just going to get all these victory point things apparently, and nothing that... We're going to use these other two. We're going to raise this from his faction, which gives me a card draw and a stone. So there's my stone. And a card draw. Come on for a sword. No. Womp, womp, womp. It's a free build for a tech. So... Now, normally the those would be in there, let's say Atlanteans, and they got the cardboard little cutouts, which are the tech wheels, which are useless to you unless they're unless you're playing the Atlanteans, or if it's something that says you can activate stuff because you have that, which I don't have anything like that. I like to use these little things from Stonemaier games also. Just makes me think tech a little bit more than just a cogwheel. But it only works for the basic ones, because if you play the Atlanteans, you got 2 other little tech wheels that are different. Anyway, so I get that, which is going to do nothing and probably go away. All right. We are going to do card draw. Let's just hope. Here we go. Wah! Hey, I might be able to use that tech wheel to build something just because I can. And it gives me production of a wood for each white in my empire. Of course, I have no whites in my empire, so I'd be building this. And I'm actually going to build this mechanical healer that needs a wood and a stone. Wood and a stone. It's an action that lets me spin tech wheels to choose one of my action commons. Discard goods spent to activate it, and I activate it again. I mean, I guess that could make me be able to get some more gold, I guess. Sure, why not? But anyways, that at least makes it to where I can do a little bit of a combo here, where when I do build this now with that tech, it puts this out. It will give me 1 wood for each white in my... So I get 1 wood, and then... So that really only just costs me a stone to get a victory point, which is kind of cool. And then for a building bonus, I get that tech wheel back. Oh man, clean up a little bit here. Alright, we're just going to build stuff so we don't lose the resources. Pretty much what we're doing. And we can use them for foundations, I guess, if we need to. So... Gonna build this, which is a wood and a stone. For the goldsmith's workshop, which lets me spin 1 dude and a gold to gain 2 victory points, which would be 3 because of my Sphinx. So pretty cool. We'll put that down here. Instead, I'm just gonna put a gold and a thing over here, which what this lets me do is I spend a gold and a person to gain 2. Because I have the Sphinx, anytime I gain at least 2, I gain 1 more. So I will gain 3 victory points. So, hey, I finally am on the board. 3 victory points. Okay. So, yeah, we go to clean up. Store my gold. Alright, he attacks. I have not gotten attacked yet. I have a feeling that's going to happen soon. I got a lot of stuff over here. Yep. Well, yeah, stuff I built. So you can kind of really play, and this is first, or you can really kind of see and plan on whether he's going to attack your stuff. So, especially if you're able to look at this, which you're not during my play because I keep putting it off camera. But so the first thing you do is you look. Do I have anything that has the meeple or the person? So I look. I got 1 right here, and that's the only one I have. So the next thing he does have something that will trigger. Now I try to see. In this case, he's going to attack this if anywhere, since this one has a person and there's a person there. So then we look at the other resource and we see if that one shows up in here. So basically, let's say, which it doesn't. So it means he's not going to attack the building. But let's say this one was a stone. If this one was a stone, what would happen? I'm only saying this that way if it doesn't happen later, but if what would happen is basically he would destroy this, he would gain this building into his stack for victory points because it has a person, and then we look to see, and there was a stone there. And then we take these 2, so after it destroys that, he's going to take, and he gains it, we're going to take these 2 cards and we're going to move them to the back. And then he would go through his attack phase again. Well, since there is no stone in the lineup, and this is the only one that's possible for him to attack, then he did nothing. But now we go to the next attack. And usually if there's at least 1 now, it's like a little worrisome because it's like, oh God. Well, it's looking for a card draw, which we know I don't have because I was using it. So the card doesn't trigger it. So once again, I do not get attacked. Maybe we are having a peaceful game. Well, a peaceful game except for me because I keep attacking him. All right, so these cards go into his stack. All right. We go to the lookout phase, which is I get a card from my faction deck, which is spend 1 tech cog to draw 1 faction card. Might need it for that card draw, so that's a very possibility. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the last phase because it's Rise of the Empire. If it was a normal game, we would go through another, or I shouldn't say phase, the last turn. We would go through 5 turns. I didn't put the marker on it. I should have. We are on turn 4. We will not get a turn 5 because Rise of the Empire only plays on 4 turns. Okay, what do we go? All right, so this is one of those promo cards I was talking about. It's pretty cool. So it's the same thing as the normal village. It takes you 1 to build, and you get wood and a person, but instead of just a village, this is a Japanese village. And it does the same thing. It provides the production of a person and a building bonus of a person. But if you can get these, it's pretty cool. So that means that we know that this game is released in Japanese, which is cool. Oh, so I did put them in here. I just wanted to, yeah, I kept them in there. And I'm going to keep them in there because people are getting more people let you do more stuff, which is fun to have in the game. And this is what made me want to add the other stuff in. Now I remember. But like I said, I didn't want to taint it. And I should take this out now since I have the other ones, but I'm not. I'm sorry. Villages make the game fun, and you're going to have villages, and these are what you want to pull and stuff. So you can see this is the non-promo, and this is the promo. And like I said, that's just the Japanese one. So I might take either one of those. Those are pretty cool. All right. 2 wood to spin, action to spin, to turn for victory points. Don't really care. 2 wood to basically get the 2 wood back. Be great if it would have been early game. All right, so these get added in, or got added in later. They're events. You could just use them. Actually, wait. No, event is the second it gets flipped up. So in this case, we actually do this. An earthquake happens. Each player gains 1, as an event, each player gains 1 tech wheel. And we draw another card. I may be wrong about that, but I'm not going to read through the rule book real fast. But it said event. I'm going to assume that's an event. The others say instant, which means you can take the card in your hand, you can do it. I'm going to assume event means an event happened. All right, so it's one of these freebies, and you get a person. Like I said, I like the people. I like being able to do that. Of course, oh no, I'm not going to be able to raise any of this stuff anyways. So the food route did not pan out for me. What color? This was blue. None of these are black. I'm going to take the Japanese village. Like I said, I like the villages. The villages make the game fun, in my opinion. I don't know why I picked these up. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last random I'm going to have to do. 3. It vibrated, so it definitely changed. So he takes card number 3. Alright, so I get to choose out of these. Do I take another village? I mean, it's going to be the card draw. I really don't care about this other stuff. I have more than enough stuff for foundation, so I do. I take the other village. He's going to get these, and they go up there. Alright. We get my production. I get a gold from my treasury. I get a sword from my deal. I get 2 gold from my deals. And I get to draw a card. Oh my god. I'm going to think about that one. Let's move on to my other productions. Get them all done. 2, 3 people. Another sword. Like I said, not grabbing the shield. Get a gold. Gold for each. Gold. Max of 3. So 1, 2, 3. Get a sword. Get a stone. And get a wood for each white in my empire, which I only have 1, so get a wood. Okay, that card draw. Man, oh man. Not liking how it's not panning out and giving me swords for my, it had a deal. I've already gone this far. I think I gotta stick to the plan. Don't divert from the plan. Here we go. Common Pam. So I'm drawing this, which is not gonna give me. All right. We're gonna need to build these villages because we're gonna need them for card draw. Let's build this Japanese village. Takes 1 wood. It's going to be a production, which is going to give me 2 people. I'm just going to put them up here so I don't have to move the thing further. Alright, so I hit my wood. I get 2 people. I'm going to build my other village, which is a wood, to give me 2 people. Using a gold to get 2 people. Why not? I got the stone. I use the stone to build a mechanized mine, which is going to give me a gold. And a tech. I think we built this. So we're going to build astrologers. I gave the gold for the stone. Get rid of a foundation. I'm going to discard the Atlantean ruins. And no, I want to keep the Atlantean ruins. They're Atlantean ruins. Why would I want to get rid of that? I'm getting rid of the abandoned cabin. To build an astrologers, which is, let's say, it's an action, I can spend a tech wheel to draw 1 faction card. Oh, that is one of my things. What is that doing over there? Let's put it over here where it belongs. All right. And as a building bonus, it gives me a tech. For my next action, I'm going to use a tech to draw 1 faction card. Oh, I thought that was a sword for a second. Got a little happy. Alright, so I can build this as an action. I can spend a tech and remove 1 of my common buildings to gain 3 victory points. That's cool. So we will build it. So for stone, use gold to build the Pillar of Light. Spend 1 tech wheel. Oh, as an action to remove 1 of my common buildings. Now we'll get rid of the Atlantean ruins. To gain 3 victory points, which anytime I gain at least 2, I gain an additional 1, so I gain 4 victory points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yay! I'm going to use 2 of my people to draw a card. Sticking to the plan. And I may have just hit it. I did. Alright, I just had to build this. Cool. So I drew this. It was another one of the armors. Cool. It was pretty much what I planned on. It just wasn't what I thought the armor did. I thought the armor was one where you use people to make armors. But alright, cool. So this happened. Alright. Nice. Let's do it. That way I can actually continue in my campaign and I do not go into decline. So I spent the 2 gold for a wood and a stone. That lets me build another armor, which will give me another sword, which is my 4th sword. So I became enlightened like Prince Shotoku. I have at least 4 swords in my supply. So first to achieve, draw 3 common cards, raise 1 for free, and discard the others. And that also lets me, I'll fill this in. Put 3 here, which means the next game I get to start with an extra card in hand. I don't remember if it was a card choice. I think it is, but cool. As far as like card draw. So, I mean, I get to draw from the common or the... But anyways, I'll look that up later. All right, that was the main thing. My civilization did not go in decline. Now let's try to do everything we can to get victory points. Oh, I need to do this other thing, which was... Draw 3 commons, raise 1 for free, and discard the others. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. I get to raise 1 of these. So what do I want? I can get this for a victory point and a wood, a person and a wood. And there's the Italian promo. So Italy. And so, victory point would be nice. Do I have an odd number of people? I have an odd number of people. So as much as I would like the victory point, I am going to raise the... I'm not going to raise the Tasty Italian Village. That just seems rude. Is it just discard the others? And discard the others. So I'm going to discard those 2. I'm going to raise the sawmill, which gives me a dude. And a wood. Alright. Oh, we just finish this phase out now and just go for victory points. That was the main thing. I didn't want to go in decline. We are not going in decline now. So we can just build stuff now. Alright. We're going to use 2 gold to build a man with a knife. Which as a building bonus gives me a tech. And I could as an action spend 1 dude and a wood to gain 2 victory points. I am going to use a tech on Mechanical Helper. Which says, as an action, I can spend a tech to choose one of your other action commons. Did not. Should learn to read my cards. Oh well. Yep, RTFC definitely works. Let's do what we can for victory points right now. Alright, so I'm going to use the Goldsmith's Workshop, which is a person and a gold to gain 2 victory points. Which Sphinx gives me 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then a dude and a wood on a man with a knife to gain 2 plus the Sphinx gives me 3. 1, 2, 3. Of course, you know, yeah, it's cool to get those victory points. Build my faction buildings can get me victory points too. But you also want points. You want victory points because the victory points let you build or get the inventions. And you have to, and they cost about 30. I'm not even close to that. Now granted, I'm going to get all these points. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So I got 23 right there. So I'm at least going to be able to buy one of these small inventions to move on. But I would like a higher score so I can get a better invention. So we're going to spend 2 dudes to draw a card from my faction deck, which is the Pharaoh's Supervisor. It's a feature each time I build a gold building, gain a victory point. Would have been very good, very early game. But it is worth 2 victory points. Really, it's only going to be worth 1 because I'd have to get rid of something. Yeah, I'm going to use this last one for card draw. Action, spin 1 to announce a color, pray 5. You may place 1 matching card under this building for the rest of the game. Each time you score with a building matching at least one of these placed, gain 1 more. So that's cool. I really don't care about it. I'm going to use gold for food to build the Valley of Plenty, which gives me, and don't matter, a food and then an additional food for each red set. That is, I do not have a red set, so there we go. All right, and I'm going to use that food to make a deal. And the only reason I'm making this into a deal is because it's going to give me a person. And I'm hoping to find another way to get another person, which I think I saw one in my hand. Find a way to get another person so I can get another card draw, hopefully. So I'm going to raise this card from my hand for a victory point and a person. So it gives me a person and a victory point. Oh, I moved it a little bit, but I saw where was that before. All right. Use them to draw from my faction deck again. Oh, come here. Which is just get rid of something as an action I can spend, turn stone into gold, which is great if I was going into another phase, but I'm not. Since we don't really care about the production buildings at this point, it's an easy bet just to get rid of them. So I'm going to use a stone, or use this gold as a stone to build the Pharaoh's Supervisor. I'll have to get rid of a faction building. I will get rid of the mechanized mine. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. I like having a let's get rid of the stone market. I don't really need a stone market. As a foundation, which now lets me build this Pharaoh's Supervisor, which is each time I build a golden building, I get a victory point. And then I am going to get rid of, really don't need the armorers anymore. We're going to get rid of the armorers, which that's all this building takes, is just a foundation, or get rid of a building. For the Ivory Sculptor, which is an action of turning stone into gold, which I really don't need to do, but That was a gold building, which gives me another victory point. I'm going to use 2 swords to raise one of his buildings. I'm going to raise his lumberjack's route, which got put over there, so I can get 2 wood. By the way, there's 2 different woods from the stone mire. There's the one that looks kind of cool, and then there's the original one, I think is what this one is. I noticed this one came out about the time of Scythe. I had these pre-Scythe, and that's where these mostly got popular. But I'm going to use the 2 wood now to build the marketplace. Last card in my hand. It lets me turn wood, stone, and a food into 3 victory points. So I don't have any more card draw. We are just going to use all 3 of my gold. 1 is wood, 1 is stone, 1 is food to gain 3. The Sphinx gives me... Oh, that was a gold one. The Pharaoh's Supervisor gives me another victory point for building the marketplace. And then, since I just did that, that's 3 plus 1 for my Pharaoh gives me another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that is going to be it. I don't think there's much else I can do. I have no cards in hand. With no cards in hand, 1 sword is useless. I mean, I can do things just to do things. I can use the mechanical helper to remove the goods off of something. I'll remove the goods off the man with a knife. And if I had the stuff, I could activate it again, which I do not. And I do believe that is it. So we move on to clean up. That stays, that goes away, that goes away, that goes away, these go away. You still store things in a normal game because of resource or victory points. He does get to do a final attack, which is where he'll probably finally start hitting some of my stuff because he's got a lot of attacks built up here. So here we go. Gold. We got 1 gold one here, 1 gold one here, and 1. So we got 4 gold ones. 1 is a gold and victory point, or 2 of them is gold and a victory point. 1 is a gold and a tech, and 1 is a gold and a stone. So now we look. If either of those are in the stack, and it is, we have the gold and the tech is in the stack. So the gold and the tech go to his pile. He took my mechanized mine. And then this and this are grabbed and moved to the back of the stack. And now he attacks for his next time, which is a gold again. So we look. I have the gold and the stone again, the gold and the victory point, and the gold and the victory point. Oh, and the gold and the wood. I didn't see that one earlier. It's in the back of the stack, though, so it would have hit the tech one still. All right. So, yep. Draw, no, person, draw, draw. Gold and wood. So I just noticed that one, and that's the one that goes away. He destroys, he takes my marketplace. And then this and this move to the back of the stack. So that time he did take some of my buildings. I've had ones where they take them every turn. I mean, it's just random on how that stack comes down. All right, I believe that's it. Now I just score everything up, and we'll talk about what the Rise of the Empire does. Sorry that took so long. Took a lot longer than I thought it would. The last turns usually do. First thing we do, oh, I forgot to move these 2 into his pile. So the first thing is, after the 5th round, count all the cards in the collection pile of the virtual player. The virtual player has more or just as many cards in his collection pile as you have locations built in your empire. You lose. I should have more than him, but we'll go ahead and do the check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he built 11 buildings. I definitely have more than 11 buildings in my fact. I thought it had to be faction, but it does just say in your empire. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Easily hit it. Okay, so I didn't lose. All right, so now we're just really doing this to get a score for the final score for the campaign with the Rise of the Empire, which we'll do through real quick, and then to also know what inventions I get to do. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Just for the buildings I have built that are Egyptian. So 14. I'm just going to put these in here. They don't matter. 14. I'm at 20, so I move to 34. And then I get one for each of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So add 11. I have at 34, so 45. 45 is my final score. And see, that's one of the things I talk about that's kind of cool. Like I said, anytime when I play with other people, I ask them if they want these in the common deck or not. It just, to me, it's cool. And yes, it could make it to where, like, yeah, as the Egyptians, as we saw, I would have hit the pyramids twice, which means I would have had pyramids plus the pyramids there. Plus, I get it. I understand that. But like I said, it's all about having fun. And I just looking at civilizations and some of the other Civ games where you can build other people's stuff just depending on which faction you are and stuff. I just think it's kind of cool to have these other things. Like, why wouldn't you? Why is it only the Japanese can have trade routes? Why cannot other people set up a trade route? Now, pyramids, yeah, that's a little harder to look at. But why can't other people be all about raiding? I mean, this gives other options. And to me, it makes it to where these are built on the common side. And you get to get victory points. Now, you say, you know, people can raise them, but they don't get nothing for raising them. So I like the idea of adding them in. But like I said, I didn't want to play with them with part of this till I really thought about it again. Because actually, to tell you the truth, I did not add those in until one of the last times I played. So I didn't really get to see if it really affected it. I looked it up because I was like, I don't want to throw these cards away. What are people doing with them? And people online were just saying they just mixed them into the common deck. Because I think there's even one that, it was actually one card in particular I looked up, and that, now I can tell you, if you are interested in doing it that way, there were some changes that had to be made, and it was on the Administratum with the Romans, because the Roman one says Romans. So if you're not playing Romans, this would be terrible. So what they said this says is your faction. So in the case of this, it would be each time you build your faction building, you get to get this stuff. So that's kind of cool. You set up an Administratum. And that you want to play with that house rule, that's what people do. There was one that made me look that up, and that's when I found it. And people weren't really saying they were adding it in. I just went ahead and did it anyways. Because there's a card that actually was misprinted in the Aztecs. Yeah, it is the Aztecs, because it adds, it's supposed to go in the Egyptian deck. Notice it's got the Egyptian back, but it's got the Japanese back, or I should say background, and then in the back of the card is the Japanese. So that was the one I was like, well, man, I don't want to just throw this card away. I think it's kind of cool. It gives people the ability to pray. They can get Bob the Priest on their side, and so that made me look, and I found the other things, and then I was like, you know what, if they're going to say you can add those in, I'm going to throw this one in too. Which is why I do play with the different colored backs. Normally I like using the Dragon Shield clears, because I like to see the back of the cards and the artworks and stuff, like the Egyptian one, you know. But since I have those in the common deck, it makes it to where it cannot be done. All right, so let's show you what happens with Rise of the Empire so we can get this over with. So my final score is 45. Until they actually have these to where you could buy them again, I'm not writing on them. That's the reason I just have a piece of paper and I'm kind of keeping notes on. So what would happen now is, for now, because I left the sheets up at the shop, so I'm going to use the back of this little thing. All right, so what would happen now is, yeah, these are what I need. I needed these purples. These are, in the Rise of the Empire, these are the... I cannot think of what they're called. Provinces. At the end of every game, if your Civ did not go into decline, then you receive one of these provinces. And what the provinces are is they are going to be well, I'll show you when I get mine. So let me do a little shuffle here and get me a random one. But they are basically a building you start with. But there are some expenses that you have to look at. And since I knew I was going to play a different faction after playing the Aztecs last time, I did not get to do this part. I mean, I drew the card just to see, and it was pretty good, but it's back in here now. And it made me want to look, because I thought I was going to play Atlanteans, but I really just want to play the game with the faction I enjoy playing until this goes into decline. And then I will try at that point to try on with another faction. All right. So I'm going to take Yay card. That's going to be it. All right. So I get this province. And what this province is, it means that it's got the start thing. You may notice it looks kind of like the ones from Empires of the North. But I start with this. And what it's going to do, it's a swampy plain. And it gives me production of one good matching the color of one building I have most of in my empire. So that one's pretty cool. Because mostly I'm going to have golds. So this means this is possibly a production of a gold just for having it. That's pretty cool. But at the end of the game, I have to lose 5 victory points or spend 5 victory points because I used this. And you do not get a choice. I'm pretty sure. I will double check it to be sure, but I'm pretty sure you do not get a choice. You have to use it. Because what's going to happen is, now that I've received this, I have to choose one of these and mark it as that's where that swampy plain is at. And as I play the next game with this faction, so like if I choose, let's just go ahead and make a choice. It's either going to be people. No, I like using people for stuff. So we're going to say stone. So I'm going to say the swampy plain. Nah, it's not near water over there. We're going to put the swampy plain. Yeah, we'll put it right there. Yeah, screw it. We're going to put the swampy plain right here. So I'm going to mark that spot. And what it means is, in the next game, so because I started with this swampy plain, before the overall game is done, I have to take 2 stone at any point in the game and put it up here. If I do not do that, and I do not put that stone up here at some point in the game, then I get 0 victory points for that game, which means, of course, I lose the game if you're just going for wins and losses. But the other thing that's real key is it could cause me to go into decline, and we're going to talk about that right now. All right, so, yeah. So, do I want to put it there? What's the other colors in the... And I'm assuming I couldn't just throw gold up here. I would have to look at that. But I'm assuming it would have to be 2 stone. But I think I remember a lot of stone being able to be made in here in some form or fashion. Or if not, I could dig through it in the deck. Dig for it in the deck. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of grays, which means my swampy plain may be producing gold or stone, just depending on where I'm at. Yeah, so we're going to keep it there. It's going to still be swampy plain. All right, so that's how the provinces work. So this province is now mine. I have a swampy plain. I might even go so far as to name them if I ever get the... I want to make copies of this. I don't like that I can't... Well, I guess I can get color copies. But... So Portal Games has, with their Roll and Write, a way you can buy another pad. I'm sure they're going to make another pad that you can buy on their website to where you can get more of these. And I mean, I get it that they expect you to go through 20 games. Or it'd take about 20 games, they said, to get through the whole campaign. My worry is if I'm marking on this, and then my thing goes in decline, so I erase all that, and then I mark on it, and then my thing goes in decline again. I just say I'm real bad at the game. Or as you saw, if I'm playing solo, it's really hard to do because I got to pull off 2 things. Well, these are going to go out real fast. They just really are. So as soon as I will start using these, I have no problem with that. I play legacy games. I have no problem with doing what they got to be done. I just want to wait till I see that there's definitely a way for me to get more of these before I do that. All right, so that's that part done. Now the last part is I have 45 victory points, so I would have to mark that here because I would so I don't go in decline, I would have to make sure I don't go in negatives 3 times in a row consecutively. But also, right now I have 45 points to spend. So I go into the technology era I'm in, which is antique, which has got these, and I put them all in the clear blue. I'm actually going to go, I think, bronze, silver, gold, just because then fits the eras or whatever. Because you do have, if you ever finish one of these tracks during the game, you lose all your provinces, you lose all the progress you made on here, and you move on to the next era and start all over again, but you're going to be getting better stuff, you know, so. And that's what I'm really testing. All right, so anyways, I have 45 points to spend. So I'm just going to take the 45s or less and not worry about the others, which are here, which I don't know why there's a 50 all the way over there. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I think it's because I think someone was thinking about whether they wanted to take that one as theirs. We kind of moved on. All right. So another way you go into decline is so I have 45 victory points. I put 45 here. And then you have to buy an invention. If you cannot buy an invention, which the cost is right here at the top, if you cannot buy an invention, then your civilization goes into decline. So when I mentioned that earlier, where if you don't do your province, you get 0 points, and you don't have enough extra points, because any points you don't spend from your score get moved here, and you can accumulate points. But if you get 0 points and you don't have any left over, then you're not going to be able to buy an invention, especially if someone's bought all the cheap ones. So, and if you have a lot of provinces, I see is you're going to get a lot lower score, so it's going to get a lot harder to buy these inventions. And you can have one invention, which is another start, as you notice. It's another starting power thing that you can get. And you can have one of each color. And I noticed they didn't use the same colors that go to this, I'm assuming. They shouldn't correspond. I mean, this is gold, but it's not the same gold. So I would assume this is not a building because it's an invention. All right, so I'm going to look at one of these. So I'm going to look at these and we'll choose them together. I know this is taking longer. If you don't really want to see these and you want to wait and have a little surprise for your Rise of the Empire, when you get your own copy, if you're interested in this, I really do like this idea of continuing stuff. I just like being able to see what I can build. If so, you probably don't want to see the rest of this. I mean, if you saw this. So if so, I thank you for watching me on this, and hope you stay safe out there, man. If so, we're gonna go through these real fast. I'll make my choice, and then we'll be done with the video. But thank you for joining me. If you are leaving now. All right, so we go to irrigation. Irrigation I could take. It's a feature. I may store one person in my faction storage. That's pretty cool. It lets me store, I normally store gold, so now I can store one dude every turn. And at the beginning of the game, I get a building bonus of 2 food. That can be cool to set up stuff. So that's probably what I'm going to take, because it'll give me 15 over, because there's only 30. This is another 30. And it's each time I gain a foundation, additionally, I get a shield. So if I know the Amazons can gain foundations as a production, but if someone attacks me and they give me a foundation, hey, I get a shield. So it helps it to where it's harder for them to beat me. So this will be good in multiplayer. Not so much in the solo, but like I said, I'm not planning on playing this a lot solo. I really do want to play it with other people. This was just more to get it out there and try it out. At the beginning of your action phase, and this one costs 35, sorry, that other one was 30. This one costs 35. At the beginning of your action phase, you may look at the top 2 cards of your faction deck. That can be helpful as a feature. That's pretty cool. I think these are all features, actually. They are. All right. This one costs 40. Each time you raise from your hand, each enemy loses 1 foundation or 1 building without a color. That, wow. Man, the Amazons would hate you. Yeah, wow. That's just, hey, I'm just going to be an a-hole. Why not? Engineering. As a feature, you may store up to 3 wood in your faction storage. So this gives me wood storage. And at the beginning of the game, I get 2 wood. That's pretty cool. I like engineering. That's a possibility too. These are the 2 I'm really thinking about. I like Iron Armories. I want to take it. But I got a feeling I'm going to play this mostly with Barbara, and let's just say I want to be nice also. That, and this isn't going to help me win the game, or not so much win the game. This isn't going to help me to stay moving up and stuff. This is just more because I can, in my opinion. Yeah. Siege tactics. 45. It will take all my victory points. I have nothing to carry over. Each time one of my buildings is raised, I may gain a food or a person instead of... See, I like that too. I like all these. These are all good. I guess if there was anyone I didn't really care too much, I mean, this is cool. Astronomy's cool. It really helped me when I was wondering if I needed to dig through my deck or not. I do like that, because it does let you know if you want to use your people to draw from there. You need to go to. That's cool. Nah, so actually, I like all these. These are all good. But I'm gonna look at storage. And like I said, I do like duders, so we're going to learn irrigation. So we as the Egyptians have invented irrigation. So now I get to start with this in my faction also. So what I basically do, and like I said, I'm going to have one of these printed up. I just left them all at the shop, is I think this is called diplomacy. My diplomacy... I have +3 in, so I can start with another card. Let's look this up now. Sorry. No, this thing's already taken way longer than I expected. Seems like they always do. But I really enjoy this game, and I really wanted to show y'all what I was looking at and what it was like. It excites me to bring the game back and now be able to have a campaign that I can go through. I'm just hoping it does all work. I mean, I know they just came out with Rise of the Empires, and I didn't think it was a bad game. I really liked this one more, and I liked 51st State too. I still like this one more than 51st State, I think. It just depends on my mood, I guess. Rise of the Empires just didn't feel like the factions played as differently, but I only played the base, and now I've got a bunch of expansions on it, and I might try them down the road again. I will try them down the road. There's no might to it. I mean, so I got military and diplomacy 3 markers is what this top one is. The middle one is economic and administration markers, which makes sense to money. That's usually the way I go in games, and I had to get 5 food to get that one. The other one is science and cultural. So science, I'm just going to put science and cultural. I have +3, which gives me this. So remember how I said I had to, and we'll come back to this now. I already kind of mentioned what it is, but just to remind you. So this is my province. I chose this. I need to put the 2 stone province in the middle. All right. So since I chose this one, and I know, like, before the end of the next game, I have to put 2 stone here. What this little thing does, and let me make sure I am right. Yeah, I can ignore the upkeep cost. That's what this is called. You have putting the resources up here is an upkeep cost. I can ignore the upkeep cost of 1 province. So since I only have 1 province, that means the next game I do not have to put any stone up here. I can ignore this one because I went into the science and culture. That is awesome. Then just to make sure I was right about this one, yeah, I start with 1 additional card in hand, which means it can be a common or a faction one. Cool. So I gained that. It cost me 30 for irrigation. So I have irrigation. I had 45 points. And I spent 30, so I only have 15 left over. Another thing I didn't really show y'all, but it's because it really wasn't going to make an effect in this one. Normally, you do have to have this because there's some markers that go on here. I left them in the box over there. There's some marks that go on here. So when you're pulling these things off, you can possibly, there are things like some of these inventions which let you pull off some of those quests a lot easier. That's it. So this, like I said, so this would show 45, this would show 15. These 3 would be checked in. I would name my faction, give the faction I played, I would name the faction, or the name of my, I guess, or my name. And then that would be my province. And I go into the next game, starting with them. Well, cool. Thank you for joining me. It was fun. Have a great day.